tax day has come and gone. Some of you may have filed an extension, which buys you 6 months extra so you can file your tax returns on time. So if your taxes were due on March 15th, your taxes are going to be due on September 15th. And if your taxes were due on April 15th, your taxes will be due on October 15th. So that's great news. But what about you guys, the ones that for whatever reason did not file an extension? Guess what? For better or for worse, your taxes are late. That's right, you're late. Here's what's at stake. So let's number one, best case scenario. You're late, but guess what? You're a 1040 filer and you know you had a refund coming back to you. No harm, no foul. There's absolutely no penalties on the late filing. So that's great news, right? So if you're a business owner and you file as an S corporation or a partnership, then your taxes were due on March 15th. And if you did not file an extension, the clock started on March 16th. So what does that mean? Is that there is going to be penalties that you have to pay. And I'm going to give you a little more details on that. So the S corporation is subject to late filing penalty fees. So what are they? I'm adding the link. Hopefully you can get a screenshot here too, like right here below. If not, well, it is what it is. But basically is for 2023, the late filing fee is $220 per month and portion of the month. What does that mean? So let's get started, right? You haven't filed, today is still, we're still in April. So you would owe $440 per member, right? If you got a solo person for an S corporation, it's $440. But let's say there is 10 owners to your S corporation. That means that the S corp is going to owe $4,400 of late filing penalty fees. And that's if you file in April. You're going to add another $220 per month times the number of owners that you have. And I believe that's up to 12 months, if I'm not mistaken. So my advice, do this as soon as possible. It's going to be the same deal for partnerships. You're going to have to pay a late filing penalty per partner. So partnership, at least you have to have two people, right? So if you're able to file by April 30th, you're still subject for the late filing penalty of March and April. So 220 times 4, well, 2 months plus 2 owners, that's going to be 440. That's going to be $880 on late filing fees. If you're able to do this, and I know some of you may not be able to do it as soon as possible. If not, May rolls around the corner. But again, the late filing fees do keep piling on up, right? Now, for C corporation, it's going to be a little bit different. And again, this is based on the fact that if the corporation owes money, if there is a loss, you're not subject to taxes or a very minimum tax. Now, for a C corporation, the late filing penalty is gonna be based on the amount due on your taxes. So the amount is gonna be 5% of the amount due, and that's gonna be every month up to a cap of 25%. So that's the good news. The late filing amount is gonna be up to 25% of your amount due. So if your C corporation owes, I don't know, $10,000, 25% of that is going to be $2,500. But remember, you're also subject to interest on the penalties as well as on the balance due as well. Now, so definitely, again, get a move on that. Even if you're not able to pay for your taxes on your C corporation, still file as soon as possible, because at least the late filings are going to stop accruing. Now, you're still going to have a balance due. That's something you need to negotiate with the government. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. There are payment plans or whatnot that you can apply for and take advantage of. I mean, at the end of the day, the IRS, the Treasury Department, is in the business of collecting money, and they will work with you to collect money. So now we discuss, business, S corporation, partnership, C corporations. Those are, the 3 most popular ones. Now, what about you, the 10, the sole proprietor, the guy that has an LLC and still files a Schedule C? Well, as you may know, you do not have to file on March 15th. Your taxes are due on April 15th. along with your personal tax return at 1040. And again, if you did not file for your taxes or an extension on April 15th, then the clock starts running on late filing penalties. The penalties are going to be a little bit similar to what C corporations are. It's going to be 5% per month or portion of a month that you're late, up to a cap of 25%. Again, the interest still continues running. So, so that's something you need to work with the IRS or whatnot. But again, file the tax return. If you do not have the money to pay, you can contact the IRS and figure out a payment plan. But the number one mission here is for you to cut the bleeding, meaning to stop the late filing fees. So, again, my advice is reach out to your tax professional if in order to take care of that for you. All right, guys. So, more happy news. So, on top of your late filing penalties, there is what is called late payment penalties, and those go to the tune of 0.5%. So, half a percent on all outstanding balances you have for a partial month or a whole month. And there is also a cap of 25%. So now, what happens if you're late filing your taxes and you're also late paying your taxes? The cap is going to be 5%. So that's what's nice about it is the way they're going to charge you is for every month, a portion of a month is 4.5% for the late filing and half a percent for the late payment. Again, the total cap on that is going to be 25%. Now, something that I forgot to mention is there is a minimum tax that you need to pay. So if after 60 days that you're late, there is a minimum late payment penalty fee. For the year 2023, that's going to be $485. That's going to apply to tax returns that are personal at 1040, as well as the C corporation tax returns. So be mindful of that. The 60-day limit is, again, $485 if you are more than 60 days late filing a tax return, which would be about May 15th. If your taxes were due on March 15th, and June 15th if your taxes were due on April 15th. There is some happy news at the end of the day. There is ways for you to get those late filing penalty fees removed or waived. I'm going to discuss that on my next episode.